So as a new agent, I quickly realized that the hardest thing about this business is finding your client. The way I found my first client was by prospecting my sphere of influence. And for those of you who don't know what that is, your sphere of influence is anybody that already knows you. So think friends, family members, past co-workers, anybody from school that you haven't talked to in a while. Those will be your sphere of influence. Anybody that already knows you and trusts you. And chances are high that your first transaction is going to come from somebody within or referred to by your sphere of influence. So if you haven't started working them, I highly encourage you to do that, because that's how I got my first deal and it worked for me. So part of my daily prospecting involves me going on Facebook and going through my list of friends literally and just messaging people and saying, hey, how have you been? It's been a long time. What are you up to? And I reached this friend from USC, so back in undergrad. We haven't talked in at least like 3 or 4 years, and she just happened to be looking for a home right now, and she didn't have anybody to represent her. So she was actually looking for an agent, and I just happened to text her via Facebook. So I made the connection, I reestablished the connection between us. I pre-qualified her, make sure that she was a really ready and able buyer. Then I connected her to my lender. And then boom, we got the ball rolling. She got pre-qualified, she got pre-approved, we got the DU letter, and she was ready to go. And we went shopping. We went probably between 4 to 5 times out to the field to see her homes. We probably looked at 8 different homes or so until we found the one that she liked. And then we did an extra showing because her parents also wanted to take a look at it. And once everything was ready to go, we put in the offer and we got in. We got accepted by the seller's agent, and we got into escrow. So after you get your offer accepted, the listing agent will open escrow, and then the buyer will have to send in their earnest money deposit, and then shortly after that they'll have to schedule the inspection to come in and start working with the lender to get the appraisal out and get the lender documents going. My client sent out her earnest money deposit. We sent out the inspector for the property. Luckily, the inspection report came back positive. There wasn't anything, terrible happening with the property, and everything was pretty much good to go. And then we had to negotiate requests for repairs. So in this particular case, I successfully negotiated a credit to my buyer for $1,200, and that included repairs for a mirror in the bathroom, a screen door to the patio, and deep clean of the patio. So that was inspection and request for repairs. Then the other 2 contingencies that we had to work through were the appraisal and the loan contingency. So the loan, I can't really do much because that is very much between the lender and the client. So they were working together to make that go through. And then the lender sends out the appraisal. And then sometimes, depending on what the appraisal value tells us, then we have to negotiate. But in this particular case, it was very smooth because the home appraised at value. So that was nice. So we didn't have to really do much, or my client didn't have to put any money out of pocket to come up to the value. So that was great for her. And then the loan funded all successfully. Overall, I would say I got really lucky. This was a wonderful first transaction. It was very smooth. We didn't hit any roadblocks, or any major roadblocks at least. There's of course little things along the way that happen, and I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But anything major that could have made the transaction fall through, luckily didn't happen, so thank God for that. And so yeah, transaction was smooth, and I'm super thankful. My client was wonderful to work with. The listing agent was also very communicative and very professional, so that made a huge difference because we were in constant communication, almost talking on the phone every single day, from the moment we got the offer before until we closed. So everything kind of worked out for me in this case, and I'm super grateful. But there's of course a few lessons learned, and I'm gonna share with you. I would say there's 2 big lessons that I learned in this transaction. First is how to submit an offer and what to put in the email attachment in order to sell to the agent. And that is that you have to have, of course, your offer written. You have to have your proof of funds, the DU, the desktop underwriting, if applicable, most likely yes, in this market right now in California, and then the pre-approval letter. And you have to have all those things in order for your offer package to be complete. If those items are not in place, then your offer may not be accepted. It might not even be presented to the seller, because in the instructions, the seller clearly states that you have to have everything together. And luckily I did that, and that's one of the reasons my offer got accepted pretty quickly. But then the other thing is that you have to make sure that your client, or if you're the buyer, to make sure that you're working with only one lender, because in my case we're talking to 2 different lenders, and that wasn't that great because at the time to put in the offer, I struggled because I wanted my buyer to go with my preferred lender, but she had a preferred lender she had already been working with. So when it came down to submitting the offer, she wanted to go with her lender, and I thought we were gonna go with my lender. So unfortunately, my lender wasn't very happy about that, and I learned that from the very beginning, like before your client even gets pre-qualified, they have to shop around and commit to one lender. Because once you start house hunting and you find the house that you want to put an offer in, you want to have all your ducks in a row to just draft the email and send it out. And at that time, you don't want to be like me, like scrambling, trying to figure out which lender you're going to work with, because we wasted time and that wasn't really, the best way to go. So lesson learned, all the 4 items for the offer, and then have your client or the buyer choose a lender before you start house hunting. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm trying to keep my videos short and straight to the point, just like 5 and 7 minutes. So let me know if you like the length of this video. Also, if you like the content, don't forget to give me a like and comment and subscribe and share with your friends if you liked it. And also, I wanted to tell you that if you're a new agent and you're going through it, keep doing what you're doing, keep prospecting, keep reaching out to people, keep calling, keep door knocking, because it's gonna work out. It took me 4 months to get my first paycheck, and I really needed that paycheck because 4 months is a lot of time with no money. But if I could do it, so can you. So it might take a little bit more time, or it may even take less time. But the important thing is that you put in the work, because results will come after. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.